Well, it happened again. Honestly, I didn't think it could happen the first time, but it did. We talked about it in a news story earlier this year on the channel, and now it's happened again. Oh, this is interesting. There's like several beetles, big old beetles running around over here. Now, I've seen these beetles around periodically, of course, but usually like one, and where'd the other one go? There were several of them right around here, all at the same time. So I've never seen so many all at once. What about you, Melanie?
No, usually it's just one.
You too, huh? Well, now this is interesting. Not too far from our camp. It looks like it must have been remnants of an agricultural operation at some point, I guess. I'm thinking it was maybe like the base of a silo or maybe a cistern. I don't know. We're out in the middle of nowhere here in Utah. We're kind of in, I guess, central-ish Utah, making our way towards Pahrump, Nevada, because what else do you do if you're a nomad or a snowbird and you're hanging out in Wyoming and it's getting cold, right? You start towards the desert, but it's too hot to go to Quartzsite yet, for sure, or anywhere else down there, Yuma, or anywhere down that neighborhood. So we're making our way towards Pahrump first, and later probably down to Quartzsite. And I have some work things to attend to down there anyway. So, but we made a stop here in Utah, and now I'm curious as to what this is. Well, the mystery deepens here. I'm not sure what this trough's about, but it's leveled up with some really old posts that are bolted to the frame of this trough. I could believe this was for water or for feed for cattle, but I don't know that for sure. It could have been some other industrial application, I suppose. I feel a bit like I'm doing urban exploration, except for without the urban part. Well, this is interesting. We just climbed up this very steep hill, and as we crested the hill, this is what we see. Looks like a cross between a old stone corral and a improvised landfill from where I'm sitting.
Or an old foundation or something.
Now let's go find out.
Corral.
I also found another road here, which I think I saw on my GPS app. I use Gaia GPS these days. I find it to be pretty fantastic. There's a few others, so use what works for you. But if you're looking for a recommendation, you might check out Gaia GPS. They're pretty good. Boy, I don't know. I think I ought to go for a corral of some sort, with a gate here and everything. But this is a pretty small corral, and it looks like there's barbed wire here, or some kind of wire. And so, yeah, it looks like they may have had additional wire attached to these posts here. I could be all wrong. But I'm kind of thinking maybe a corral or something. That's one of the interesting things about hiking around a BLM or forest land. Sometimes you run to these old places and there's just old stuff there. And it's like there from before it was public land. And you just gotta kind of figure it out what some stuff might be. This does look like a fold-up bed frame to me, though. Maybe a couch that folds out into a bed, something like that. And you know, of course, who doesn't bring their old porcelain toilet out to the desert to smash it up just because, why not litter up our public lands a little more, see if we can get some more shut down, right?
Teeth, though. Yeah, that's definitely a rodent. Big eyes.
What big eyes you have, Grandma. What big teeth you have,
Yeah.
Grandma.
Yeah.
The better to eat you with, my dear. I don't know. Let us all know in the comments what you think this might be. And there is, Melanie is pointing out, there are several what look like it might be pack rat nests around here. So I don't know. We'll show you some more of those too. But I promised you an interesting story. Just saw it in the news again yesterday. Another outhouse misadventure. Now, I'm not normally big on toilet humor, but when you have two of these stories in the same summer come up, you just got to talk about it, right? So this one's out of the great state of Montana, where I used to live for quite a few years. Apparently another traveler dropped his smartphone into the outhouse at some public land location. I should clarify, I thought this after I talked about the one before where the lady from California held onto a dog leash and tried to go in head first into an outhouse and fell in. That was this summer. That happened up in Oregon or Washington. This one, we don't know where the guy's from. We don't know how old he is, just that he's from pictures, we know it's a middle-aged white man. That's all I know. So these public land vault toilets, as they often call them, they're pit toilets. And it's not like your conventional porta potties that you see a lot of places these days that are plastic or fiberglass, and there's a tank that's maybe a foot or two deep underneath, and that's as far as it goes. It's all one unit. These vault toilets, if you're not familiar with them, they start with a cement tank, a cement rectangular tank in the ground that's probably 6 or 8 feet deep, I guess. Some of them are quite deep, and then they put a little shed around it, and they put a toilet that bolts to the floor. And it's not like a flush toilet, it's just a cone with a seat on it. It's an outhouse, is all it is. Except for instead of being a dirt thing on the floor, it's concrete, and they can pump them out every once in a while. Okay, so these things are deep. They're nasty. They don't get pumped out often. It's not like your porta potties that might get pumped out every day or every week, depending. These things are nasty and they're deep. So this guy drops his smartphone in up in Montana somewhere and decides he's going to go get the smartphone. He undresses himself. Probably a good idea, at least. Disassembles the toilet and removes the toilet, so it's just a hole in the floor on a concrete slab above a concrete tank, and goes in after his smartphone. I don't even want to think about the experience of that stuff squishing between your toes and whatnot as you drop into that pile. Oh. This is bad. I can't even tell this story with a straight face. This is bad. So anyways, he gets his phone and retrieves it, and then realizes he cannot extricate himself from the hole in which he's put himself. He's stuck down in the vault toilet in the filth and can't get out again. So he attempts to call 911.
911, what is your emergency?
And has no phone service because Montana's a lot like Wyoming in that respect. There's lots of public lands and most of them don't have phone service, so he couldn't make a phone call. 90 plus degrees that day, 3 hours he's standing in somebody else's or a whole lot of somebody else's filth and excrement and body waste, sweltering, before somebody finally comes along to that public land site and apparently hears him yelling. They had to damage the door to get in, to get to him, and then they found him in the outhouse. In the part of the outhouse you don't want to be in. So these rescuers did help him out. Apparently they ended up passing him a camp chair, which he was able to put on the floor and then stand on the camp chair and climb out. Maybe they'd seen my video from earlier this year when that lady got stuck, because when she called for help, the fire department came and they handed her various items to put on the floor to climb up on and stand on to be able to get out, because they weren't going in after her either. And these volunteer rescuers in Montana were not going in after this guy either, but they did hand him a camp chair to stand on so they could get him out. There's a video that goes with, shows at least part of the rescue. There's some colorful language in there. You've been warned if you want to watch it, but he does note that with some colorful language that next time that happens, he's just reporting the phone stolen and so he can collect the insurance on it. There you go. I don't know what else to say about this. It has never crossed my mind that I think I should go into Outhouse after something. I want to know what you guys think. If you, first of all, do you carry your phone in such a way or use your phone while you're in an outhouse so that this could happen? And if your phone did end up in an outhouse 4, 5, 6, 7 feet down in that nastiness, are you going in after it, or are you just calling it a lost cause, or maybe at least trying to find some way to extract it? If you got to get it, extract it without going in there. You know, like one of them pincher puller poles people use to pick up trash like this out on public lands or something, so you don't have to touch stuff. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm at a loss. I cannot imagine doing this, but here it is. This is twice that I'm covering from one summer season just here in the Northwest, Montana and the Pacific Northwest. Melanie pointed out to me earlier when I was talking about the story, she said, if you've seen it in the news twice, how many more times has it happened that didn't make the news? That's even more terrifying. So, I don't know. Let me know, though, seriously, would you guys go in after a phone or anything else? I mean, other than maybe a child, I don't see anything that's making me go in one of those things. I've seen enough of them that, and smelled enough of them that, yeah. But we're almost back to camp. We're making our way back, not too far away, but I wanted to say I hope you enjoyed this, our little mini adventure with us, out exploring around a bit, a few of the scenes we saw, and hope you enjoyed that outhouse story. We just had to share that when we saw it pop up in the news again. At least I had to share it. I won't incorporate Melanie into that decision. I had to share it. Thanks for joining us, a video, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not yet, so you can hopefully be notified when we publish new travel-related content like this little mini adventure and outhouse humor video today. All right, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for joining us.